If it's been a long day and life's getting you down, just sit with a puzzle and turn it around. Piece by piece, piece by piece puzzler.
Hi Puzzle fam, this is Richard, aka Piece by Piece Puzzler, and I want to welcome you back to episode 2 in my new vlog series called The Week in Pieces. So the main purpose of my vlog, as I've described it to you before, is to walk you through some of the puzzles that I've done over the last week, and also to show you some of the puzzles that have joined my collection since I last made a video. So basically these videos are going to take the form of 2 different sections, the first one being the recap of puzzles, and the second one being a mini puzzle haul. Obviously not every week I'm going to have a whole ton of puzzles joining my collection, but usually most weeks I've got at least 1 or 2 that are joining, so I'll have something to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into the first section of the video, which is the puzzles I've done. So you may remember from the last episode of The Week in Pieces, I had a giant haul last time of a whole bunch of puzzles from a new wooden puzzle company called BART Games. So 2 of the first puzzles that I did were from BART Games. They were both smaller puzzles. I had remarked at the time that their small puzzles come in these really nice boxes that look a little bit like Apple products. I'll show you this one here. This one is called Cloud. And I just love the packaging. They're really cool. And then also inside the box, they give you, I can't really hold it up, but there's a bit of a wooden frame here where you can put the pieces into the frame as you're working. So ultimately, there's also a piece of contact paper in there, and you can turn it into like a mini framed puzzle that you could put on your desk to display, which is really cool. So I put together one that was an image of Magritte, and then I put together this one, which was called Cloud by the artist Arkip Kunzi. I hope I said that right. I could be wrong. And these were both a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. They were pretty quick and easy. They took me probably 30 minutes or less. And it was really just going by the shapes of the pieces. They were not traditionally shaped puzzle pieces. So the Cloud one had a little bit more of an interlocking quality, but the one by Magritte, it was more kind of arranging the shapes to match the image that's on the puzzle box. So if you wanted to do it without the box, it would be quite a challenge, but ultimately the image looked really cool. So my second main puzzling activity of the week was the much anticipated arrival of a puzzle that I've been looking forward to for quite a long time, which is the Taylor Swift Midnights puzzle. Upon the release of her new album, she announced that she was putting out a new 500-piece puzzle, and it was put out through her merch team so you could order it on her official store. And so I put in an order for that about 2 months ago, and it finally arrived last week. So I put that together right away, and I'll leave a link in the description below, but I put together a video with all of my thoughts about the puzzle. Needless to say, I had some critical things to say both about the image and about the quality of the puzzle, but you can watch the full video in order to see my process of putting it together and my strategies for getting this image puzzle, because it was not an easy one for sure. So that was the second puzzle, and I also did enjoy it for what it was, though it wasn't necessarily my favorite puzzling experience of the week. So you'll notice that I changed out the background behind me. I have swapped in this beautiful puzzle called Game Night, which is from Art and Fable Puzzle Company. So a little over a week ago, Diane Bizzle of Bizzle's Puzzles on Instagram and I launched a puzzle along specifically devoted to this particular puzzle. So this is one which has artwork by, I'm going to read their names, Bart Slip and Elvira Erico. And as you can see on the box here, it has a lot of really exciting details on here. Basically, the image is of a bunch of people. They're in kind of a cartoon style, and they've assembled together in this one room to do puzzles and games and to drink in this kind of underwater bar in one corner of the puzzle, which I'm not sure if you can see, but I'll show you a close-up on the screen. And this was a really, really fun puzzle to do. So to give you a little bit of background, Diane and I are running this puzzle along for the entire month of January, so it's actually not too late to join us. As of the making of this video, there are still a few days left. There is a 15% discount code that you can use at artandfablepuzzlecompany.com specifically for this puzzle. So if you put in the code GAMENIGHT15, and I'll put that on the screen so you can see it here, then you can get 15% off of this puzzle through January 16th. So we're going to be running this puzzle along all through the month. If you end up deciding to buy the puzzle, if you DM either Bizzle's Puzzles or myself, Piece by Piece Puzzler, on Instagram, we can add you to the event group chat so that you can follow along with us. We are basically just discussing what our methods are for doing the puzzle, some of our favorite portions of the puzzle. There are a lot of fun and funny details in here, so we've been kind of picking out what are our favorite pieces. What are some funny questions that we have about different things that are going on in this puzzle? Like there's a snake in here, and there are all kinds of other little quirky things that you can spot. And it's just been a blast to kind of chit-chat with us, amongst ourselves as fellow puzzlers, and just enjoy doing this puzzle as a group. So it's not too late to join us. Like I said, you have a few more days to use that code if you want to join along for a game night puzzle along. So next up, in terms of the puzzles that I finished this week, on Saturday during the day, I went to a local puzzle club that I'm a part of called the Hudson Puzzle Club, which meets at a library in Manhattan. And while I was there, I put together a really cool puzzle that is of Michelle Obama, which was by the puzzle company The Found, which is kind of a gift company. They do a whole lot of different things like pins and cards, but they also have a line of puzzles on there as well. So I actually re-gifted the specific puzzle, so I don't have the box to hold up, but I did borrow this puzzle also from the Puzzle Club, which is about Dolly Parton, and it's by the artist Laura Zumansky. I hope I'm saying that right, but she's also the artist of the Michelle Obama puzzle. So I will show you a couple of pictures of the puzzle so that you can see what it was that I was working on at the Puzzle Club. But it was a 500-piece puzzle. It had really, really vibrant colors. And what I also liked about it a lot was that it has an interesting irregular piece cut. So like a few other companies like New York Puzzle Company and La Paz, these puzzles have an irregular cut. So unlike the standard grid where all of the pieces are generally aligned vertically and horizontally, there's a more randomness to the cut of the puzzle. And I really like that about these puzzles specifically. I've done another one, which was Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek, and that was a really fun one, and I also really enjoyed Michelle Obama. So I'm looking forward to doing this one that I borrowed from the Puzzle Club, hopefully in the near future. So the next and final item, in terms of the puzzles that I've done this week, is sort of a mixture between a puzzle haul, because these puzzles just came into my collection, and this portion of the video about the puzzles that I've just completed. Because I was walking down the street, I think it was a couple of days ago, and I was just meaning to go to Dunkin' Donuts, but there is a thrift store right next to the Dunkin'. So I stopped by to see if they had any new puzzles on their puzzle shelf, which they usually keep out front of the building. And they had 4 little Areaware mini puzzles that are from their Little Puzzle Thing collection, if you can see that on the side. So this one is New York Slice, and it's a pizza slice. There's one here which is a birthday cake. There is another one which is a tonkatsu ramen container right there. And then there's one more which is an eggplant. So normally the puzzles, no matter what size they are at this thrift store, cost about $3 a piece, which for a 1,000-piece or 500-piece puzzle is really great. However, these puzzles are only about, I think it's somewhere between 60 and 80 pieces. So I went up to the guy at the register and I said, even for the minis, you charge $3? And he said, you know what, I'll give you the 4 for $10. So they all worked out to be $2.50 each. So for a lot of you thrifters who are not based in New York City, you may have very ready access to a Savers or a really great Goodwill that's like a giant store and you have shelves and shelves of puzzles. I will tell you that in New York City, that is definitely not the case with thrifting. So, I'll go into some thrift stores and they'll have no puzzles. I'll go into other ones and they'll just have a few and they're not necessarily ones that I would want to do or ones that look like they're in good condition. So I just happen to have one that's very, very close to me, actually just within very close walking distance, that does actually occasionally have some good puzzles. They've had some other Areaware puzzles. They have had an Elena Essex puzzle. They have Ravensburger puzzles. So occasionally I get a good deal there. And these 4, even though they're a little pricey for thrifted puzzles, if you consider $2.50 to be thrifty, to be a little spendy for a thrifted puzzle. But I think I got a good deal because they did provide me with a really fun night of puzzling. So the night that I purchased these puzzles, after my partner went to sleep, I put together all 4 here on this little Zacco board. So they were a lot of fun to do. I will say the quality of these is not really particularly amazing. I'll show you what I mean. On the pizza one, you can see the tip of the slice falls right off because it doesn't really have any interlocking. So aside from that, I had a lot of fun with these, but I did just kind of wonder about the piece fit of these. So normally those puzzles retail for $15 each, which I think is really overpriced for a puzzle of this size and of this quality. But for the price that I was able to get them at, I had a lot of fun with them. And I do think they are kind of a quirky, cool novelty puzzle. So if you were looking for somebody to give a gift to that you didn't want to give them something that's giant in terms of the size, then it could still be a good gift idea. If you're only buying one for $15, there's a little bit less sticker shock than if you were trying to build up a whole collection of them. So I did enjoy these, and they are part of the group of puzzles that I did this week. And so now, basically, without further ado, I will move into the second section of this video, which is the puzzle haul. So now we are into the puzzle haul section of this video, which today actually features, yes, some puzzles, but also some puzzle-related items that I wanted to show you as part of this vlog. So the first item that I received today is a book that I ordered over the holidays. So I've been doing a little bit of digging, especially for my blog, into various topics related to puzzling, both in terms of vintage puzzling, but also the history of puzzles, and, you know, specific puzzles that grab my attention. So along the way, a lot of the research that I had been doing has kept leading me back to one particular book, which is this book called The Jigsaw Puzzle, Piecing Together a History, and it's by Anne D. Williams. So you may have seen this book before because I'm pretty sure Karen Puzzles has featured this on a past video, but a lot of different puzzlers have been finding this book. It's actually currently out of print, but you can still find copies of it on eBay. Also, where I found it was on abebooks.com, abebooks.com. Sometimes the prices on this book are a little bit out of control. Sometimes it's like $40 and up for a copy, but I managed to find a really nice, barely read, you know, pretty nice hardcover copy, and it was about $20. So I recommend, if you're looking for this, unless you're in a particular hurry to find it, set an alert for yourself either on AbeBooks or on eBay and try to snag a copy of it. I'm really looking forward to diving into this. You know, I took a look at it yesterday, and it has a really nice center section with all these really cool color photos of different historical puzzles and a lot of really neat details, including, actually, if I can show you this, this is a picture of one of the other puzzles that I'll be showing you in this video, which is called Convergence by Jackson Pollock. So also during the holidays, I was starting to give some thought to, you know, it might be fun to have a few either puzzle-related clothing items or jaunty accessories if I'm going to a Jigsaw Puzzle meetup and I just want to show off my puzzle pride. So I started looking on both eBay and Etsy, and I ended up finding 2 Etsy shops that had really cool lapel pins related to puzzles. So this one here, this is by Polished Partridge. And if you can see, it's sort of like a Greco-Roman bust, and it has a puzzle piece that is taken out of the head. I just think it looks really, really cool. And then I really hope I'm not misstating the name of this, but it's Lapel Pin Planet had this one, this puzzle piece. And this is pewter that has been dipped in gold. And both of these pins were pretty inexpensive. I would say they were around $10 or maybe a little bit less each. So these are just something that I can put on my jean jacket or put on my shirt lapel if I'm going to a puzzle meetup. That just adds a little bit of extra flair to my outfit. And yes, I think I'm probably a little bit ridiculous by veering into buying puzzle-related clothing and accessories, but at the same time, I really don't care because I'm having a blast and I'm going to look super snazzy. So also, while I had been looking at puzzles online, I started doing a little bit more searching into vintage puzzles because it's been a lot of fun over the last few months to try out a few different vintage puzzles and different vintage brands and see how I like them, and also just have a bit of a window into Jigsaw puzzle history. So as a member of the LGBTQ community, I'm always also on the lookout for LGBT puzzles. And so I did a search for gay puzzles on eBay, and this really amazing puzzle called Gay Pride came up. And this is actually from 1983, and it was produced by a company called Coming Out Enterprises based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And what it is all these different gay pride buttons. I don't know how well you can see this, but I found this one and I immediately wanted it. And I was able to make an offer that the seller accepted that was, pretty reasonable. And so now this has joined my collection. And I'm really excited because every June I take part in Puzzle Pride Along, which is an LGBT positive event, which is sponsored by Jen, aka Puzzle Nux, and also Sarah, Necessarily Puzzles. So I'm really looking forward to including this in my Puzzle Pride Along regimen this year. And at some point in June, I'm sure I will be posting a picture of this puzzle on my Instagram. So next, in terms of vintage puzzles, is this extremely difficult looking puzzle called Convergence, which I had mentioned to you when I held up the Jigsaw Puzzle book. This is a vintage Springbok puzzle, which is from, hopefully I can find the year. It's from, I don't know, but I think it's pretty much close to 1965. And what this is, it's a puzzle of a Jackson Pollock painting. And it was billed at the time as the world's most difficult jigsaw puzzle. So other puzzlers have featured this. I believe Karen Puzzles also did this one on her YouTube. But over the holidays, I decided that I really wanted to give it a try. It looks very, very difficult, but I think it also looks kind of fun. And this one has 340 pieces. So one of the things I thought about this is, even though it's billed as the world's most difficult puzzle, and I'm sure plenty of people struggle with this one, at 340 pieces, it's a little bit more manageable than a larger piece count difficult puzzle. I see a lot of people doing either solid color jigsaw puzzles or crypt puzzles by Ravensburger that are not the gradient one. And I'm just amazed at people's skill. And I think, you know what? This at least has some image that you can refer to. 340 pieces. Let me give myself a challenge in this new year. So I ended up buying this. I got it for a pretty good price on eBay. And here it is. It's joined my collection. I'm really looking forward to doing this one. And I'm considering making a video on this one because this actually ties into Springbok puzzle history quite a bit. This was one of their early popular puzzles, and it was a massive success. It was one of their, I think at the time, it was one of the top selling puzzles. And it was definitely one of the top selling puzzles that Springbok ever made. Because in the mid-1960s, when Springbok was really coming up as one of the prominent puzzle companies, there was a huge focus amongst hardcore jigsaw puzzlers that they wanted to find something more difficult, something where they could get together and challenge themselves in a group or on your own. So there was really a resurgence of solid colored puzzles and puzzles that were billed as being particularly challenging, because there was a desire at that point not to just breeze through doing a puzzle and be able to do it in one or two sittings. They wanted to have something to challenge themselves with. And so this puzzle, Convergence, gave them a way to do that. So to close out this puzzle haul video, I wanted to also share a bit of news with you that I've already shared on my Instagram, but which I'm not sure I've shared with all of you as subscribers to my channel, which is that as of last fall, I was chosen by Springbok Puzzles to be a member of their ambassador program. So what that means is that every time they release new puzzles, I get to try out a couple of the puzzles, and then once they go public, I'm able to share the images of them with you. So I get to be one of the first people to try out their brand new releases and just be somebody who gets to be a cheerleader for Springbok and to share the Springbok love with all of you. So it's something I'm really excited about, partly because I love Springbok puzzles so much, and also because, as I've sort of talked to you about in other portions of this video, Springbok puzzles are a huge part of jigsaw puzzle history, especially in the more recent era of jigsaw puzzling. So I'm really excited today that just yesterday I got in the mail 2 brand new Springbok puzzles, and I cannot share them with you, but I can tease them. So here they are. They're both 500 pieces, and they have these really, really cool, I love these little stickers that they put on the puzzles that they send to me. This one says Puzzleologist. And the other one is, I think of this one as sort of the SpongeBob SquarePants of jigsaw puzzles. I think he's really cute. So I'm really excited to get into those. I have to work very quickly on these because I have a bit of a deadline for submitting the images. So this week I'm going to be puzzling very hard on Springbok puzzles, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you a little bit later in the month. It is, after all, Jigsaw Puzzle Month, so there is much to be excited about, and new Springbok puzzles is definitely one of the top things that I'm excited about this month. So, this concludes the puzzle haul portion of the video, but I did have two other topics that I wanted to talk to you about briefly before I close out the video. So I just wanted to talk to you about two other topics before I sign off for today's video, and that is that just this week I've started doing a bit of writing for the brand Soonness. So you may actually see in the background of pretty much all of my videos, I have a little shelf here devoted to Soonness puzzles, and Soonness has been doing these really cool events which are called PNP, which stands for Pick and Pre-Order. So a couple of times a year, Soonness will put out some different puzzle images by a variety of artists, and then basically the consumer can vote on those puzzles by pre-ordering them. So whichever ones meet a certain minimum order quantity end up getting made into puzzles. The ones that don't, at least the artists and the artwork got some exposure, and it's really exciting also for all the participants, whether they're artists or puzzlers, to kind of meet each other and to find new artwork, find new puzzles to get excited about, and Soonness puzzles are really, really high quality puzzles. So I've been doing a little bit of writing for them, and Soonness has actually just launched a new blog which is called Fun Reads. And if you go there to soonness.com and you click on the Fun Reads link, you can read one of my blog posts there, which is basically an interview with Soon Cho, who is the founder of Soonness Puzzles, and we got to talk a little bit about the PNP event. I'm going to be doing a little bit more writing for Soonness, so in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, or at least within the next month, you'll hopefully see some other content from me over on soonness.com. And also, I just wanted to talk to you about a blog post on my own website. You can view my website at piecebypiecepuzzler.com. I've just launched this website back in December, and I've been having a lot of fun coming up with different topics that I want to write about puzzles that I'm particularly passionate about. And one of those puzzles is this one. It's called Double Image, and it was by Salvador Dali. And so this puzzle is one that was created specifically for Springbok, and this came out in the 1960s. And so I've been doing a deep dive all about this puzzle over on my blog at piecebypiecepuzzler.com. And over the winter break, after I had already come up with this blog post, I ended up finding out a whole lot of really interesting information, extra information about this puzzle that I was not already familiar with. So I'm going to be putting up a second blog post all about this puzzle. It's going to include a lot of fun information like how this puzzle got made. Katie Lewin, who is one of the founders of Springbok, ended up having to call Salvador Dali to ask him if he would do this puzzle. And some really interesting things came out of that. There was also a puzzle release party, which sounds like a lot of fun, which took place in New York City. And I was able to find out some interesting details about the party itself, including how puzzle pieces were just kind of raining down from puzzle boxes at this event, which sounds like a huge amount of fun. I want to go to some party where there's just puzzle pieces flying everywhere and everybody's just having a blast, dancing around puzzle pieces. And then also, I found out through this amazing resource called the Hallmark Art Collection, which I will also link to in the description below, I was able to find an uncropped image of the original painting of Double Image. So I was able to put that on my blog and link back to Hallmark Art Collection so you can go back and check out all of their really amazing resources. But I wanted to mention that I'm going to put a link, as I said, in the description below with a link to my original blog post about Double Image and also to my blog update, which I'm going to be dropping around the same time as this video. So again, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Week in Pieces. This is the second one, but I hope to be making these pretty consistently throughout the year. And I just want to also thank you again for all of your support of my channel. It's been really fun going into 2023 and trying to set some goals for myself about keeping these videos more consistent, staying engaged with you. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you're going to give it a thumbs up and like the video. Also, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. I'm hoping to be posting at least about 1 to 2 times per week, depending on what I've got going on. And I really look forward to sharing more videos with you. So if you enjoyed any of the puzzles that I featured in this video, I would love it if you would leave me a comment below and let me know which of these you would like to do. And if you're working on any puzzles yourself at the moment that you're particularly excited about, I would also love to hear from you. I'm always looking for puzzle recommendations. So thank you again for watching, and until the next time, until the next video, I wish you all happy puzzling.
Piece by piece, piece by piece puzzler.